Thank you, Jason, for accepting my invitation, joining this special campaign of mine, the Happiness Interview. I've been running this campaign for a few months in order to see how happy people are, how positive people are, and through the interview, we may get some of the useful messages. There could be some help for some people who are going through the tough times, who are struggling, looking for the method or the techniques to overcome their anxiety and to stay more positive in their lives. So that is also the purpose of this special campaign. And you're chosen because I can see the positivity in you in some of the lessons that you have conducted with our classes here at Tom English, right? So thank you so much, Jason, again. So for sure, first, people who are listening here are curious about you. Who are you? Can you just like briefly introduce yourself to the people here?
Okay, sure, Tommy. So I'm Minh, but of course you can call me Jason. My English name was given to me a few years ago by a foreign teacher when I
Mm-hmm.
was working as a TA. So there is no special meaning behind the name. It's just that I really adore that teacher, so I decided to keep it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
More about myself. I'm a business administration graduate, but
Mm-hmm.
I have a taste for the language as well as teaching. Yes. So before I chose to be an English coach, I knew nothing about teaching and had no experience
Mm-hmm.
whatsoever. As a result, working as an English coach has been pretty much just trials for me, but it's been over 1 year now, and it's been a blast eventually. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The thing I like about teaching is that in each lessons and topic, not all the time I know or I can recall the knowledge 100%.
Okay.
So having a chance to prepare the lesson also
Mm-hmm.
means that having another chance to learn a few more things or
Mm-hmm.
revise the lesson. Yeah. So I'm not always just a coach, but a lot of time a student as well. Yes.
No, I like the mindset of you defining the job of teaching, right? It's not just about teacher and students, but also we are students too, right? On the path of like always keep improving ourselves in order to get better. I like that
That's right.
mindset. So let me just ask you a question to see more, to know more about your experience here at Tommy English. What is the most challenging part being a coach in general?
Well, I think that to figure out your unique style of teaching. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, because the syllabus as well as the content and also the books are chosen by the center.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But then, of course, some books and some units, they may not be specifically, suitable for every coach and me as well. So I have to research a lot, and I think I have to do like a research around 1 or 2 hours or even three, depends on the topic
Okay.
of the lesson, and then I can customize it, and then when I feel satisfied, I can teach it. Okay,
Mhm.
but if not, the lesson will be. It will feel very weird when it doesn't suit you at all and you don't want to
Mm.
teach it. Okay,
Mm.
yeah, that
Mm-hmm.
is the challenging part for me.
I got the same feeling also. That is the reason why here we do not force the coach to follow 100% everything here because we know that we cannot apply the same thing for all the classes with all level and all personalities and demographics, right? Even
Yeah,
you gotta feel good about the topic, about the activities, about the things in the lesson plans so that you can deliver it well. And it all has to go with your feeling and your style. That is the reason why we encourage people to research everything and then make it again. Even like all the lesson plans I have provided you guys. But then when I actually use them to teach my lesson, I have to like go all over it again. Even that the thing that I made before, that's the most challenging part. But it can also be the most interesting part, because throughout the process we can look for new things, we can see the new methods and activities in games, right? That is also the way to improve our skills.
Well, I think, of course, it is challenging, but in the end, I feel like my creativity, it
Yeah,
has been pushed to the limit,
exactly.
and also I think my creativity, it has been sharpened throughout, the time with Tommy English. Yeah. Okay. So,
Appreciate that.
in the end, of course, I am satisfied with that.
Okay. So thank you so much, Jason. So let's jump right into the main topic today, which is happiness and positivity. How do you define happiness, Jason?
To me, happiness, it is always so vague, changeable, and individually dependent. Since we are not living the same life, so
Mm,
definitely there is no single and universal notion of the term happiness. Uh, some, they wish for extreme wealth and longevity,
mm-hmm,
while others only wish for simple things such as a happy family, a well-behaved children, or a stable job. But on the other hand, a lot of people, they just want to barely make it through another day with basic needs like food and water. Then not every wealthy man is happy at the end of the day with
mm,
all kinds of jewelry and properties.
mm,
And not all of the poor men are miserable because of their
mm,
family by their side. Yeah. So
mm,
in the end, I think that it all comes down to the final feeling when you go home and lie on your bed. If you feel happy, accomplished, and all the hardships during the day are worth it, then I believe you achieve happiness. Yeah.
mm.
So that is how I define happiness.
It's fake. It's changeable. I like the two words that you use to define happiness. It is different with all types of people. So, what is the common factor that would design happiness in your opinion? In all level, in all types of people, in your opinion.
So, of course, a thing that I think people may afraid to say,
Mm.
or you say a hot take, right? It is a hot
Hmm.
take. I think, of course, money, yeah, it is the most common and basic factor, yeah,
Mm.
when it comes to happiness.
Mm. So, financial status.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. So, how important it is, and do you think money is a source of happiness?
Okay. So if you ask me, can it buy happiness, right? So you will receive a resounding yes from me,
Okay.
Tommy. I think that money can definitely buy happiness to a certain extent. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Most evidently, having enough money help us make ends meet, to
Mm.
live a healthy life, to be full and stay hydrated.
Mm.
They are the most basic signs of happiness that people usually overlook, since
Mm.
most of us are living in peace.
Mm.
But then we should think about the others who are struggling to survive in the
Mm.
wars. They would be ecstatic with just a bottle of water and a sandwich, right?
Mm.
Uh, of course, then we have to talk about the modern world where everyone races to work and to make money because
Mm.
they think that having a lot of money means happiness.
Mm.
I think it is true. But as I said,
Mm.
if you focus solely alone on money and leave out health, relationship, passions, and dreams, then all you have maybe a big house and a fancy car. Yeah.
Mm.
But are you sure that you can sleep with a smile on your face because of your exhausted body, a drained soul, and not
Mm.
so many people to rely on, right? And tossing and turning on your bed every night when you think about your next big contract. Yeah.
Mm.
So my point is, money plays a big role to achieve happiness, but it is not the sole factor. Yeah, the trickiest thing about happiness is balancing all the aspects of life, and the more balanced your life choices are, the happier you become. Yeah. Yeah. So
For people with stable finance, it is about balancing. It's gonna be easier to talk about balancing between their work and their life. But then for the people who are poor, who are struggle in making money, what is the point for them in order to balance between making money and being happy in general?
okay. So I think that we must have a purpose in life. I think in order to keep it balanced. Okay. In order to keep your goals clear, right? So you mentioned about maybe some poor families, right? I can see that in most of the poor family, the breadwinner have a clear goal, is that to take care of their children. Okay, maybe take care of the husband, take care of the wife, but ultimately to make enough money to provide for the family. Okay, to make ends meet, of course. So I think ultimately, besides money, you should have clear goals. Okay, you should have something to love, and in this case is your family member. So that is how you can balance between work for money, or like you work for them and then they are happy. It means like you are happy also. Yeah.
So it all comes down to having the purpose of life while making money,
That's
right?
right.
So you gotta find
Yes.
your passion, right?
Yes.
So are there any other aspect that can contribute to happiness, in your opinion, apart from money?
Okay. So other aspect, of course, as I mentioned, which is your loved ones. Okay.
Okay.
So that would be your relationships, is it, with your family, and maybe with your friends, yeah, your boyfriend or girlfriend, okay, or maybe a spouse, right? And then the next factor that can lead to happiness, I think, simple things, which is interest and hobby. Yes. So I think that each of us, we should take a little bit of our free time, to spend it doing our what we love, and it can be simple things, just like a sport, or watching some movies. Okay, because I think in the end, each of us deserve to spend the time with what we love to do. Okay, to put some steam off from the hustle and bustle of the daily life. Okay. Yes.
Do you think that the definition, how we define happiness, can be changed over the time?
Definitely, Tommy. As I mentioned about how I define happiness, right? I said that it is changeable, okay? And I think it will be changed through time. In my experience, I also was a student, right? Specifically, it was in my, I think, freshman year in college. Okay, I always thought that being happy, it means like have good grades. Okay, and then work part-time, yeah, to earn more money. Okay, to buy maybe some cool t-shirt. Okay, some cool jeans, for example. Okay, and then of course back then I felt happy with what I got. Okay, with just a t-shirt and the jeans. But now I feel like I always think about what can I do, for my family when they grow older. Okay, and then what can I get from my parents, and what can I get from my girlfriend, for example. It will shift from me myself, okay, and then to the other people around me. Right? So that is how my happiness notions change throughout the year.
I can see that you have mentioned a lot about your loved ones, your family, your relationships. And I can see that you are a type of person who cares a lot to the people around you. But then they say, love yourself. Self love is important. So, do you think taking care of others or having too much attention to others before your own needs can be a source of depression or anxiety?
I think that if you care, for the right people,
Okay.
it will be a source of happiness, okay?
All right.
A sort of pride, okay?
Okay.
And then a way, to share all the highs and lows in life, okay? To have someone to listen to, all right? To maybe give us some advice, or most of the time, you don't need any advice. You just need them to listen to you. Yeah, that is enough, right?
Yeah, I can see
Yeah.
that.
Yes. And then on the other hand, if you care too much for the wrong people, okay,
Okay.
for the outsiders of your life, care about what they think about you, all right, how should you impress them? And of course, I think that is unhealthy. Okay, to care about those people. Okay, so my advice is that focus solely on those who are important and those
Okay.
who are positive relationship to you. Okay, and then leave out the rest. Okay.
Okay. Just like
Yes.
there are some people who are important to you, just keep them. But there are some people just like the ads, you should skip them.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, skip the ads always.
All right. So share with me because I can see that the way that you use in order to overcome difficulties or problems in life is to look for someone that you love, so that you can share with them. You can listen to the people also. So share with me the last time that you felt stressed out or you had some of the problems in your life and someone helped you overcome the situation.
Well, actually, the last time I felt stressed out was the time when I first got into Tommy English.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Is
that's
it
right.
because of us?
Yeah, because I mean the workload it
Okay.
wasn't really a lot, but then the style, from
Right.
teaching for a center, it is totally different from working for my own as a
Okay.
self-employed, tutor. Okay, so I have to prepare a lot. I have to follow the specific procedure, fill
Okay.
in a lot of report, and so I was kind of stressed out because of the workload increase. Okay,
Okay.
but not because it was too much, because they were unfamiliar to
All
me.
right. All
All right,
right.
so and then the person that got me through all the things, I think it is myself, because in my family there is no one that work as a teacher, okay, or
Okay.
related to education field. All right, so of course I couldn't receive any useful advice from my family. Most of the thing that I do is only by myself. When you talk about some emotional support, yeah, so I have emotional support sources, a lot of them. So again, it will be my sister and my girlfriend, all right, because I think they're young. They are about my age. Okay, you can say they are a bit Gen Z, is it? Yeah, so they understand everything I went through. Okay, so they provided me some emotional support. They encouraged me. Okay, and they keep pushing me, to get over all the preparation, all the researching, and so on. Yeah.
So I can see that it's not about what people do to help us overcome the difficulties or problems in life. Sometimes it is just their presence that helps us, that encourages us, right? That pushes us to try harder. I can see that because like it is hard to share about the personalized stuff with the people that we love because they know nothing about what we do, right? They cannot provide us with some of the useful feedback or tips in order to overcome the things. But then sometimes it's just like, oh, we share for them. We may not expect anything in return. It's just their presence there, their kind words, just that, right? Those little things are important for us to overcome the things. And then we should rely on ourselves. That's everything.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you so much for sharing. And then, are you familiar with everything now after 7 months working at Tom English?
Yeah, of course. I think now I can prepare the lesson maybe twice or triple the time. Yeah,
Uh huh.
pretty much faster, and I am more relaxed now with the lesson.
That's nice. That's nice. That's the circle of the job. Because I've been
Yes.
doing a lot of jobs, and I expect during the first 3 months things are unfamiliar, but those are my favorite parts in order to learn. And I do know that after the specific period of time, I will get used to the job. And then it will start to get boring after the specific time. All the circle of the jobs that I've been through, right? Even when I was in the hotel working as the receptionist or the manager, got promotion, or even when I was working at the tour guide, right? For the first few months, I always felt stressed out. But then everything, gets boring after the time. That is where we need to stop, we need to reflect on ourselves, we need to go and find the ways to refresh ourselves so that we can find more unfamiliar things in order to improve ourselves. Are you doing anything to refresh yourself in order to not get bored with the current task?
As I told you that I just took up boxing, right? So
All right.
that maybe we can see that is a new thing. Yeah? To put some spice onto my life, is it? But I don't think that preparing lessons it can get boring, okay?
Okay.
Because like most of the time the topics they are different, right?
Okay.
So I have to think of new games, and then I have to find other books. So each lesson is like a new movie for me. All right. Yeah, that I have to go through. Okay, so I don't think that it is boring.
So I can see the method that you used to overcome the stress or the anxiety is to talk to the people that you love, or to rely on yourself, or even to find some of the other interests to do, just like boxing. Do you have any other techniques to help people or to help yourself overcome, the most difficult part of life, which is stress and anxiety?
Because I think that I have mostly been living my life in somewhat easy mode. So I don't have a lot, but I have a little bit of everything. So I don't dare to teach or educate anyone about how to deal with stress. Right? But my suggestion is that whatever you do and go through during the day or even throughout the week, you gotta find the one thing that you love first, all right, and feel safe with, in order to blow up steam. All right. So as I mentioned, it can be anything: a simple hobby, a particular sport, and someone special, of course. So again, for me, I can rely on a lot of things. The first thing is video games, right? And then for sports, I also play badminton, right? And now, of course, I just take on boxing, okay? And ultimately, I have my loved ones, right? But I totally understand that a lot of people they don't even have time to breathe even after work. With all the emails, all the side jobs, the complaints, and working overtime. But I hope that in the end, whatever happens, no matter how little times you have left because of your tight schedule,
Mm-hmm.
Never forget to give yourself some time to spend with those things and the people you love, even just for a few hours in a week, because we all deserve it. Right?
Mm,
Yes.
So the technique that you have mentioned is to find the things that we love, and that would be different for so many people. Someone will like doing sports, taking care of the garden, or even spending time with the loved ones, right? But then, do you have any suggestions? I would say suggestions because you told me that you don't dare to educate people, but then it's just some of the tips and suggestions that you may have known or you may have read before for the majority of people when they have to deal with the stress at work, but then they don't have time to do those things because like it is not easy for you to be anxious and to still think about having time with our loved ones or going out for a run or a walk, right? So do you have any like more specific topic for those people to deal with stress immediately?
Because I have not been in such scenario, of course, I've been stressed out a lot, but still, I think I have a lot more times than other people. All right, so that would be a little bit tricky for me to think of the answer or the advice right away. Okay, but again, all that I can say is that even when you don't have time to do anything, okay, the last resort, okay, that you can do is to pick up your phone, okay, and then just call anyone that you can rely on, okay, and tell them about anything happening
Okay.
with your life, right?
Okay.
Some of the most common people that you can rely on, of course, they are your parents, is it?
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Or that can be your siblings. Alright. And of course, if you have a boyfriend or girlfriend, yeah, just feel free to call them. It will just take you a few minutes, is it? Yeah. You can take a few minutes of your day, to call them.
Okay.
And don't just call them seldomly. All right. You can call them usually, okay? Because if they truly love you, they will always have time for you. All right. That's what I think.
Okay, sharing communication, they are the keys to help people overcome stress. I do agree with you. I think that's the most powerful technique already to, deal with stress and anxiety in life. But also for me, this is something that I've been practicing over the last few years, and I can see that I am happier, I'm more positive, I'm healthier mentally and physically. Is to deal with the stress by facing it, to write down some of the worst case scenarios that may happen to me when I overthink about the things too much. Because stress is because you overthink about the situation. So rather than just have all the thoughts, the negative thoughts in your head, write them down. What are some of the thoughts? What are some of the things that you worry about onto the paper? Real piece of paper. Then have solutions for each problem. What is the worst case scenario, right? That is something that I've been practicing. I can see it helps me a lot in staying positive. And I do hope that if you've never tried that, I do hope that you one day try it out because I love writing. Do you like writing things down?
Not really, Tommy. I think I only write because I have to.
Okay.
Yeah. But I can say that I love creating things,
Okay.
more than writing things, because I love creating good games and interesting activities for the class.
Good. To summarize this, can you just list out some of the useful tips for young people like you to stay positive, to stay happy every single day, Jason?
Okay. So I think for the people around my age, the biggest source of stress that would come from their work. Right?
Okay.
So in terms of work, I think be proud of and love your job. If you try so hard and can't even stand that job, maybe it's best to quit it and look for a new one. Okay, and then don't just set your eyes on money solely. Go out, try other things, hang out with your friends. Don't just sit there and work overtime all week for some extra money, right? And also, don't forget about your family. All right, as I just mentioned, don't call them seldomly, call them usually. All right, at best, call them every day, every night, and think about them more. Rely on them and share all the highs and lows of life. Well, even if they don't have any good resolutions for your situation, it's still good to have someone to listen and understand what you're going through. Right? And finally, doing a hobby, help strengthen both the mind and the body, because we need good health to work your way up in the long run. And then to climb faster, you need a sharp mind. Okay? Any sports or leisure activity is fine. So that's my 3 tips for the young people.
I can see all of those things in you.
Yeah, really?
Right,
Thank you.
right,
Yeah.
right.
Speaking from experience, right?
So I can see the first thing that you have mentioned is loving your job, right? It's not hard, but it's not easy for most people to love their job. Do you have
that is
any
correct.
experience in order to fall in love with what you do?
A lot of people, I think, when they scroll through LinkedIn or any, a specific website for looking for job, they always look at the workload and then the salary. Okay, so that 2 things is the first impression about a job, right? But actually, they are not the thing you should be looking at first or when you look for a job. Of course, it will be important, okay, because you need enough money to survive, and then you don't want to work too much because then you will have no time for yourself, right? So I think the thing that you should think first is what would you do and would you like it? For example, in teaching, of course, you will deal with English, specifically English lessons, right? You have to prepare them, you have to revise them, and then you have to create good slides and then good activities for people. And then the next thing is that you will socialize a lot of people, and not just socialize, you have to teach them English, of course. So you should think about all the activities that you do in a job, and then you should ponder like if it really suits you. If it really suits your characteristic, your personality, and then your set of skills. So that what we should looking at, not just the money and then the responsibility.
I would add to your point, in order to fall in love with what we do, we have to see if we can create values to other people or not. In every job that we do, right, the best way to live our life is to be in the service of others. In every aspect that we do, right? Let's take an example. I'm doing this social experiment, right? It's not for fun. It's to create values to other people, to help them get through the tough time in their life. So the best part of being a teacher is to create the environment for people to improve their English, to make their life better, right? So focus on those things to do and to fall in love with the things that you do. But it is also important to refresh ourselves every single day. And you may have to think that no job is boring itself. The thing that gets boring is how we see the jobs after the specific time. Keep refreshing yourself, keep looking for new things, new ways of doing the things. When I was still teaching, I had a method. I consider each lesson is the new opportunity for me to get to know more about my students' daily routine or daily story. So I have conducted the one activity that fits all the classes, right? That's what I named the activity, which is like story sharing, right? Every lesson I ask them to like think of a story about their lives or about anything that they have read, they have seen on the internet, and bring it up and share with the people, right? And then throughout the lessons, I can learn a lot from my students, right? And I can also create the opportunities for them to speak up, to share about themselves, to apply what they have learned into, the real world situation. That is the way to find love in what we do. I would add into your answer about this one. So that is the end of the interview. I'm so happy to see you today, and I'm so excited to listen to all of your sharings and tips. Right? It's not about educating people. It is about like giving them some of the useful tips, something that we have experienced, right? Yourself and myself, to the people. So do you have any messages or anything that you would love to share before we finish this interview?
I haven't prepared, but I think it's all about love. So, first, love yourself, right? And then love all the people around you, the people who are nice to you, okay? No, not all the people, right?
Okay.
And finally, love your work, right?
Okay.
Because that is the source of everything, is it? It is
Yeah.
the source of every good things and also every bad thing that would happen to your life, right? But you still need to love it, right, in order
Okay.
to receive the best from it. Yes.
Okay, good.
Awesome.
So thank you so much for spending time with me, Jason. I wish you a wonderful day ahead, and I wish you have a wonderful time with your family during TED holiday.
Okay, thank you, Tommy. And I also wish you the best of health, and also I wish Tommy English will be more prosperous after that.
Thank you so much, Jason. I'll see you
Okay.
around.